The champ is on the mic. Struggles ongoing, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward, no matter what I face. I rise, His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray, help me say, every day that I wake, I will praise You. Every breath that I take, Lord, I will praise You. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Struggles are going, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward, no matter what I face. I rise, His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray, help me say, every day I'm alive, I will praise You. Every way while I can, I will praise You. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you with me? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. I owe my life to You. I rest upon Your word.
That's right.
Your joy alone, my strength. I'm right on track. In You I have my peace, the rock that never fails. I pour my love on You. I know You're in control. I'm singing and dancing and praising, moving, 'cause my Lord is good. Rejoicing, progressing. I'm shouting, God is good. Hey, I'm standing under the rock. Hey, I know my God's in control. I hail, 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 I hail. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. I talk to the Lord, I walk with the Lord. I stand by the word of the Lamb of God. This is my daily motion.
I will always go higher.
This is my daily motion.
I will always move forward.
This is my daily motion.
I will always go higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I am going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher.
Good evening, Daily Motion family. This is your girl. Happy Saturday, everyone. I am Olayemi Champion Odushola, and it is a privilege to be coming to you on this beautiful Saturday. It was such a bright Saturday, but it was equally cold. And so it's nice to warm ourselves up as we come here. This is the Daily Motion Haven of Love. It is where we come together as people of faith and we talk about all the issues that affect us without any judgment and without any facade. Real issues, straight the way it is, just as it is. No calling the dog a monkey or anything like that. Just saying it straight as it is. We're going to talk today to one of my favorite people on earth. And there's not enough time for me to talk about her. So, because I only have 1 hour, maybe we should start.
I will start with a little shout out so that we can get to the meat of our discussion today. And in our usual way, every question that I ask our guests, I am asking to you in the chat as well, because this is us reasoning together and trying to figure it out together, not alone, but together. I know that it's been such a heavy week with the Ukraine and Russia news, and I'm feeling that. And I know you're probably feeling that too. But again, we rest in the hands of the only one that we can rest in, our God, who's able to make peace. And so we are thinking about that this weekend, even as we go live and talk about purpose and redefining purpose. Ayo is in the house. Hi, Ayo. Hi, Ayo. Hi, Ayo. Hi, how are you? And Wale is in the house. This is my hair that I bought. I'm sorry. I told you last week, it's just getting long. Even since 2 weeks ago, it got a little longer. It's in my way. It's so long, it's getting in my mouth. Hi, Ayo, how are you? Hi, Wale and Okwe, how are you guys doing? Kiki is in the house. Rewa is in the house. Oh, my baby is here. Hi, Tinu. Hi, my love. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Oh, the original Manshi is in the house. Precious is here. Hi, Manshi. How are you? It is nice to have you in the house. All right. It's time to talk about some serious stuff. I want to show you something so that I can commit myself to it. It's not for any reason, but I have to commit myself to it. I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, I've been trying not to watch the second season of Daily Motion because in my head, I'm like, this is something that was shot 5 years ago. And I just feel it will be outdated. I think everything will be outdated. The camera, the shots, the scenes, the talking. And so it's been really hard for me. But I finally got the courage to watch it again. And when I watched it again, I said to myself, that means it's not as bad as I thought it was. It was still so relevant and so apt. So I am committing myself to a Daily Motion premiere. And just so that I can commit you to committing me, I'm going to show you the cast so that you know what we're looking forward to when we do this. Take a look.
Come on, hit it, yeah. The champ is on the mic. Struggles ongoing, but I know the battle is the Lord's. Though tears are overflowing, yet my faith remains. In hope I'm pressing onward, no matter what I face, I rise, His Spirit leads me on. All the way, Lord, I pray, help me say, every day that I wake, I will praise You. Every breath that I take, Lord, I will praise You. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I am moving forward. Yeah. My daily motion, I am going higher. My daily motion, I'm moving forward. My daily motion, I'm going higher.
There it is. So I don't have a choice now. At some point, I have to show you what that really looks like in its almost entirety. It's about 7:10. It's almost there. This is the time where we bring our guests into the house. Daily Motion fam, I really will not bring our guests into the house if you don't, please stand up. Please stand up. Do you guys remember that song? Maybe you guys are not old enough. Wale and Okwe are definitely not old enough for that song. But us that are old enough, we know that song. Boomy B-Ball. Oh my God. My heart just did a leap, like a 1,000-step leap. I'm so glad to see you. Let's send some hearts, some love, claps, accolades, the hands up, in like push-ups. I don't know what those are called in real life. Push-ups. Let's push them up for our guests, even before I try to bring her in the house, because I respect her as a person. I love her as a friend, and we do life together just like I do life with a lot of people. But this is so special to me because I have never had a relationship accelerate to the place of transparency and authenticity as quickly as I had with her. And I know the exact moment that happened. The picture was in my video promo. So let's do it. Hearts, I'm sending mine. Clapping, I'm sending mine. Love, emojis. As we bring our guests into the studio, welcome Lola Omolola.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very fortunate to be here with you. So I really appreciate you. Everybody, Daily Motion family. Hi.
Hi everyone, we saying hi. Just speaking English, but my English is, everybody knows my English is not sound. So use our English to balance my own English as we
But
go
you're not
along.
alone. No, my English is a work in progress
It's
too.
also we too are working on it. That's why we are
Me
okay
too. Me too. I'm
together.
working on
We
it.
are
I'm
working
working
at
on
it.
it.
I usually do a short or not so short intro
Mhm.
of my guests. But I'm not going to manage today. I'm not going to try because I will not stop talking. I remember meeting you and thinking this person is larger than life because there's so much more within that what you see outside. And I remember the moment that I look back on this picture that we took together where we were sort of holding each other and hugging and looking in each other's eyes. And I remember that I have shared with you that, I talk about God telling me about people and whether to let go or not let go, and God saying, don't let go of that one. And it was so cool that the message was not one-sided. And I've enjoyed my friendship with you just because there's none of this kusi powder kusi nkokon kind of stuff. It's always so real. Thank you for what you not only mean to me but what you mean to the whole world and how you do it one person at a time. I really appreciate that. One person at a time. Lola, I love you. And I'm
Wow.
sure that you know
This
that.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to win me over. You want to sound like you love me more than I love you. So you're quickly leading. You're quickly starting first. I see what this is. But I want you to know that it feels as deeply authentic with me as well. I feel it with you. And I have the exact same words that you just said to me. I have those exact same words to say to you. I feel deeply connected to you. And I also value who you are to the world and to absolutely everybody that your life touches. So, yeah, it is completely mutual. It's a
Almost sure.
mutual
It's a mutual
something.
something.
It's a
Okay.
mutual
What's the
something.
problem? No, we have done
Yeah.
that. Okay, now that we have gotten that, and I got through that without getting emotional, which I have to clap for myself for, because I get emotional when I talk about those kind of things. DM fam, you are in this conversation. Antonia, how are you, darling? Hi. Oh, my Prego is here. Hi, Prego. He's gonna have a little baby boy. He's gonna be my baby boy, but I'm so excited about that. Very good. All right, let's talk today. And before we talk, in our usual Daily Motion style, Lola, we're gonna ask you to introduce yourself to the Daily Motion family. We want to know the serious stuff. We want to know what you do. We want to know, like me. I always come and say, my name is Holayemi Champion Odushola. I'm married to one man, and for the meantime, and I have two children for the meantime. Tell us what you love. Tell us one of your biggest pet peeves if you have any. Just let us get to know you. Go ahead and take it away.
Well, I don't think I'm as interesting as you are, but the first thing I'll probably have to say about myself is that I'm a person who learned very early, very quickly in life that I could die. And I was only 6 years old when I had a car accident. A car ran me over. And I think that in so many different ways, that set the tone for the woman that I have become. Imagine at such an early age being aware of your own mortality. And, but it taught me something really important. It taught me that the world doesn't revolve around who I am or what I want. And that has set a tone for everything, absolutely everything I do, every choice I make. And that's one thing I think is important to let you know. Another thing is that I'm married with children. I have some really impressionable young teenage girls who might be a little smarter than I am. I'm married to the man of my dreams. So that is another benefit that has defined who I am and who I hope to become one day. I'm still best friends with my childhood friends. I've been told that I do relationships well, so I'm grateful for that. And I think one of the most significant things I can tell you about myself as relates to my work is that I lead the most influential, uh, engaging, and largest network of women in the world. And that is one other thing I'm proud of. Talking about pet peeves, it's going to be really difficult. It's really going to be difficult for me to come up with one just because I'm a lover of people, I'm a lover of things, and I always create space for things, even when they're not things that I am good at or that I enjoy doing. I see the value of creating space, regardless of whether it gives there's any benefit to me or not. So I'm going to pass on pet peeves. But what do I love? I love people, and I love my own space. So those are I think that would be in a nutshell my description of who I am without taking too much of your time.
Excellent. You can take my time. Please take my time. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you just said about being friends with people from your early years. No matter what life has thrown in your plate, leading the largest group of women that you like you said, um, you're staying true to Lola. And that's something that doesn't come because you have the ability to do it as a human being. That's
Mm.
something that comes with the fact that there is a higher power that's driving you and that's keeping you grounded. So I'm so glad to hear that. So since you didn't have any pet peeves, what is your favorite? Like I was saying in Yoruba, what is your favorite food? What is the type of food?
That one is easy. My favorite food of all time is amala and okra soup.
Amala with ila. Somebody told me that
Amala with
amala
ila.
doesn't go with amala and ila
If
now.
you now make it amala with ila alasepo, the Niger Lagos
Get
one,
out. Get
it's
out.
just
Then
cuckoo kill me, like they say. Cuckoo kill me. I'm all day long. But
Coco.
lately, Inyo is actually fighting for my attention a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm starting to fall in love with Inyo a little bit, just because I've noticed that it's lighter. It's lighter on the stomach. And
Inyo.
so, lately, Inyo is leading, Inyo is
Inyo.
starting to lead, but for majority of my life, it was Amala by
That's
far.
that's wonderful. That is wonderful. It's 7:18, guys. We are with Lola Omolola, and we're going to get to just hear about our topic today. Our topic today is redefining purpose. And I always feel like I'm deeper than I am. In my mind, I like to find that topic that makes you think about what comes before that. If we are redefining purpose, it means we already defined purpose. So I want to throw it out to the Daily Motion audience. When they ask you about purpose, how do you define it? Before we start redefining it, how do you even start to define it? And as you do that in the chats, make sure you're typing, because this is not two people talking. This is a world of us talking, because that's how we get to learn, okay?
Yep.
I talk about purpose, and for a long time, I remember that when this thing, you need to find your purpose, you need to find your purpose. My first exposure to purpose that was really jarring was The Purpose Driven Life, a book by Rick Warren that we read, and I read that and I was like, oh, that's great. I think I can connect to this. This resounds very well with me. I totally understand what they're saying. But it came to a point where everyone felt like we were being encouraged to find that one thing that is your purpose. And so some people, you could tell, had already found whatever their one thing was, and some people they couldn't even figure out which one of the things, or they couldn't even find one thing. And so sometimes we go to all these conferences and they say, oh, your purpose, and it's like, how do you know which one is your purpose? And so I grew up a little bit and I thought, you know, I think we oversimplified purpose because we thought it was a task that you were supposed to do, and everybody else is supposed to see it. You're supposed to commit to it a lifelong, and it was oversimplified. And when I came to understand purpose the way I want to understand it, I figure that purpose is in everything that you do at every season of your life. As a
Mm.
girl, my purpose was to be a good girl, a good sister, a good daughter, a good friend. You know, when I grow up and I get a job, my purpose in that job is to make sure that everybody feels God through whatever I do. As a mother, my purpose is to raise a good human being such that I am populating the earth with good human beings. So it's not as simple as what's your purpose, one word. That's what I came to understand. Do you have any such nuggets, revelations that you started with, Lola, and that you grew out of?
I'm going to start by saying that my perspective on what purpose is a little more intense. It says that it is what I believe you were created to be. And I understand that that also sounds like a challenge because that's hard. Like, how do you know why you were created? And but the truth of the matter is, after looking at the length and breadth of my own personal experience, I think that this definition of purpose is what applies to me. Um, and the way I just see it is that I got lucky from a very early age. I figured out what my purpose was in experiences that happened in my family and the experiences that happened to me personally. So this day we went to a family house to have a party in Lagos Island in Nigeria. And we usually have these parties. My family, mom's family, is very social bunch, and there was always something going on, and we just made it into a big. Some of the time, it's just family, all of us just getting together and just having some fun. So it wasn't always something that was one big thing, but majority of the time, I think that they just really placed a lot of value on bringing people together, and I loved that about my family. Then this day, I have an exam. I had an exam coming up, and I was sitting, in the living room. I was studying, and my dad came in and said, "Are you sure you're actually studying? Because you're looking at everything that is going and coming." He ended up dragging me into one of the bedrooms and say, "Stay there. Stay there. Don't go anywhere. Study because I know you want to do your exam." Now, here's the thing, and you guys can all relate with this. When you grew up in Nigeria and you're a girl, you know there's a lot of work that's to be done, especially around those parties. There's like place to wash. There's somebody that needs to go and greet everybody as they're coming in. There's somebody who needs to keep the house clean. Well, one of my aunts came to the room that I was sitting in and she said, "Lola, we have a lot of plates to wash and we need your help." And so my dad had dropped me off in the room to study and he left. And I told my aunt, I said, "Auntie, daddy specifically told me not to leave this room because I have an exam coming up and I need to get my work done." Suffice to say, to cut the story short, 5 other women had come to ask me to go wash the plates within a very short period of time. So I got up because I just gave up. I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this, get this done and get back to my studying before dad gets back. I looked out the window just as I stepped out of that room and I saw my brother playing football. So I looked at my last aunt that I was capitulating to and I said, "My brother is there playing football. Why don't you go and ask him to help with this place?" Because dad didn't want me to leave this room. You know what she told me? She took a look at me. She stopped, took a look at me. She was apparently upset. And she said, "Don't tell me who I'm going to ask to do the work. I'm asking you to come and wash the plates. And you're telling me that I should go ask your brother to play." Because he was right there in the quadrangle playing football. At that moment, my aunt turned to me, a little annoyed, and she said, "Don't you know you're a girl?" 6 words. 6 words. "Don't you know you are a girl?" It's interesting how many experience we listen to so many people all the time. We're constantly listening to people, we're constantly engaging with people. But there are certain words people say, and this, I guess, speaks to the power of words that just sticks with you and it never ever leaves you. And this is why we should talk to kids with a little regard. They remember everything. I don't remember which of my aunts actually said that to me, but that I think set the tone in so many different ways for what became my life's purpose. Because that was the day I realized I was a girl because she said that. And I understood the weight that came with what she said. Oh, of course. From a very young age, I knew the difference between the genders, but I didn't really understand the weight behind what she was saying. And I asked, and then just as we were walking out, my dad came in, ended up making sure that I didn't wash the plates, let my aunts know with his own voice that it was important for me to stay indoors and get my work done. The bottom line is the woman I was before that day and the sister and the conversation I had with my aunt and the 6 words she said to me, don't you know you're a girl? Different person, completely different. I was a teen. I think probably 11 or so at that time. And that's it. One day, from that moment, I asked my dad, and dad kept on, he then told me, he said, Lola, here is the thing. Expectation placed on women are different from, and he gave me the whole spiel. He gave me the whole talk. And I started seeing it everywhere. I was no longer blind. It's one of those things that when you start seeing, you can no longer unsee. I started seeing the differences. Like, oh, okay, so the women, this was their role. This is what they did. So the men, this is what they did. That was how I stumbled on my own purpose. And every day since then, I've seen it in everything. And unfortunately, it wasn't always good. The things that I saw, it wasn't always bad either. But it has set the tone for me to become a woman who's spending her whole life till I die, to bring women together, and make sure that they always have a space to say what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and know that there will be someone, at least one person, who would listen and not tell them to shut up. That's
Lovely.
how I define my purpose.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for that. Fire, everybody is saying that. I think you're speaking the words that every woman wants to speak, but we don't have the words to put together to say that. And so much love. So much love. I know a person who is in the chat saying, Fire, that this has been her life story. Maybe you should write a book actually about that, Rewo, and say, this is what I've been saying. And I know that that is really resonating with you. Thank you so much for that. You have already shared with us about the girl child, Lola, because that's kind of like what I wanted to see in the child that is Lola, that has now become this adult that we know. And so if there was, and I know this is a very hard question because it's a hard question for me, but if there was one commitment you had to your girl child, what would it be in summary? I know we're supposed to teach our children, girl, boy, male or female, let them become good humans, but in attention to the girl child, because that's the community that your life purpose serves, what is that one commitment that you say, if nothing else happens, or if everything else happens and this does not happen, then I need to stay on it? What is that commitment to your girl child?
Mine is simple. I mean, my answer could seem it could seem like I really took a lot of time to think about it. But the reason why it's going to sound like that is because I actually made a real pledge. Like, I actually did it in real life. I actually did that process. And my commitment to my daughters was that I'm serious. Number one, worthiness. I was going to communicate to them that their voice and their opinions carry weight. The second one is guidance, that I will challenge them to critically think about simple things and complex things and actively model for them how to cultivate a love for learning. And the third one is peace. I'm going to give them peace. I'm going to make them feel psychologically safe and tranquil. These were the things that were missing from my experience growing up in so many different ways, around so many different people. And this is an experience that lots of women share constantly. It's just that feeling that we're supposed to be this, we're supposed to do this, we're supposed to not be here, we're not supposed to be doing this. It's constant. I want to do something different. And those are the three things that I challenged myself. And every single day when I wake up, I try to find a better way to refine what I already do to ensure that I always in every situation, I'm able to guarantee my daughters those three things, that they are worthy, that I will continue to guide them, and that I promise that I will give them peace.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. DM fam, you're just listening and soaking it in. We're not learning anything from you. And we're going to end the live at 7:35 if we're not learning anything from you, because this is a learning forum and we're learning. Learning goes both ways. So I've asked two questions now. What was your definition of purpose? What has it come to be now that maybe you've changed it or know a little bit more? And I'm asking that question to you as well. If you are a father and you're raising a girl daughter, what is your commitment to that child? What is your commitment to that girl? Knowing where we are all coming from, and just like Lola said, and everybody else on this forum can probably say, I want to know you're engaged, you know, in whatever language you want to speak that in. And I want to hear your voice, because as you say that, you're actually committing to it on live wire. You know, we're on live wire now. So now we'll hold you up to it. We'll hold you up to it if you don't do it. Go ahead.
I just realized something. I just realized that I explained the first two, but I didn't explain the third one, which
peace.
is that I was going to give them peace.
Yes, go
And
ahead.
that is that. And by peace here, I think I mean psychological safety, in that they can say their true thoughts, what they're really thinking, and show their true feelings without fear of negative consequences. That's how I define psychological safety. They should be able to feel psychologically safe with me at their home.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for that. DM fam, some people are giving you fin hugs here. Hi, Auntie Oyin. How are you?
Back to my
Fin hug,
sister.
fin hug, fin hug, fin hug all over the place. And you know, she casually said that I lead the largest group of. Tell us about Finn, please, because you've not said anything about Finn. Thank you for talking about Finn. We are all Finas. And Finstars.
Finstars.
Yes. Yes.
Finstars. Get it right.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
it right.
Oh no, I got it right. I'm messing. I'm just joking. I know it right. All of us are Finas here. We are all on the Finas reading. Even the ones of us that are not brave enough to write anything. Reading and getting strength and courage from different women's stories and all of that. And sometimes writing. Abisola Banjoko says, my commitment to my daughters is to do all in my power to raise confident ladies who can hold up their heads anywhere and speak their truth without fear. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for that. I'm going to keep going because I want us to have a very nice conversation that is not too long. If you don't have that commitment and you are raising males and females the same, you will have one for your girl child, but you should also have one for your boy child. Sometimes what you write on the panel for the girl child will help you to define what you want for the boy child. Because if you know what you want for that girl, then you can say, then I want to raise a man that will be able to live in this world with this girl that I want to raise. So I'm challenging you to do that. Bumi Ball says, my constant prayers for my twin daughters have been that they know who they are, they love who they are, and they own who they are. When they know who they aren't defined by the world's standards. When they love who they are, they do not seek validation anywhere. And when they own who they are, the world cannot put them in any box. And I think Bumi just hit it for me. My lifelong commitment to every daughter of Zion that I meet is that you can do whatever you want to do. You cannot be stifled. Even though the world has told us for so many years to conform to standards, I want you to know that anything that you put your heart to, you can do. And the only person that can stop you is you. So go ahead and dream, go ahead and do, and go ahead and speak what's in your heart. Thank you. We're going to fly. Thank you so much for being here. I have to continue to thank you for making time out. I understand the commitment you have to people. I understand the commitment you have with the work that is in your hands. So I don't take any time that we hang out, I don't take it for granted. So I thank you so much for being here. Your greatest fear.
My greatest fear.
Your
Oof, that's a
greatest
hard
fear.
one. But it's one of I'm a very introspective person. I spend a lot of time thinking because it is existential for me to know to understand things before it happens. It's important for me. And so I could tell you right now that my greatest fear is, not having the option to do what I want to do and to think what I want to think. So it would be loss of freedom by far. It is my number one fear. For someone like me, so I can't imagine someone like me doing anything that would cause me to be incarcerated, for instance. The chances of that is very, very, very little because I like to be free. I like to at least have the option, which is interesting that this is my greatest fear because I spend a lot of time. I'm introverted in many different ways. I'm extroverted in other ways as well, but I'm introverted in many ways. And so but knowing that I can go out anytime I want is so important to me. So definitely my biggest fear would be loss of freedom. I need to be able to live as I prefer.
I love that. That's wonderful. And as you even start to talk about that in my head, I'm like, well, some of us will think, some of you who are upright citizens will think, well, I don't think I'm going to be in jail. Somebody like me, you would never know. I might go and abuse somebody somewhere and then they will just lock me up. So I can't be as certain as you are. But, I even think about just the freedom as we're talking about.
Can anyone be certain though?
Nobody
Because at
can
the
be
end of
certain.
there are people in jail that didn't do the thing.
You're not kidding. You're not
So,
kidding.
like,
That is so true. But
nobody can be certain though, but that would probably be my world's worst nightmare.
Exactly.
That's one thing I know for sure. Even if it's
Exactly.
just for 24 hours, that 24 hours will be a nightmare.
Yes, yes. DM fam, your greatest fear. I wonder when I hear Lola say the word freedom, and because I'm a feminist, I'm so sorry. There's no other way to say it or to sugarcoat it. I can stay calm and very I can be so diplomatic. In fact, if you tell me somebody killed somebody, I will say, hey, wait, let's examine it. I can be so diplomatic with everything else until it gets to the issue of women and the rights that they have and what they're thinking or what they're supposed to do. So when I think about freedom and our commitments, as we have all just spoken to our girl child, I think that freedom to just dream and know that you are who you are without any external definition. I think about the loss of that freedom would probably kill a lot of us. It'll probably kill me because I can't sit still, as a lot of people who know me know. And where everybody don't go and steal anything, though, because I can't bail you because I don't have papers. You guys know, so please let's not lose our freedom in any way. Let's not lose our freedom in any way. Aya says you're so right. Girls and women's voices are not being heard most of the time, and we're always being told to be quiet and just do as we are told. And that was in reference to some of the things that we have talked about in the past. What inspires you, Lola? You do big work, and I was saying earlier that why I love what you do is some of us are sent to individuals, some of us are sent to towns, some of us are sent to cities, and some people are sent to the world. And you find a way to do your work to the world, but making it feel so individual. What inspires you when you have that capacity of work to do and the capacity of the women and people, not just people outside of your family, people within your family that you have to cater to? You have to have a source of inspiration that keeps you going to your life, sculling your purpose. And what are those things for you?
It's two categories of things, I think. and they are people. It's people. It's two categories of people that inspire me the most. But I think I can put these two categories under one umbrella. People who do things that can only be achieved through a grueling commitment to self control and self development as a whole. That's what inspires me. And the two people that I think fulfills that more than anybody else are women who have gone through so much, but find a way to still dedicate their lives to making a difference for other people.
I love
I
that.
worship that woman. I worship her because I know what pain is. And seeing that woman step outside of that to still be able to be a source of strength for somebody else, I worship her. The second category of people are leaders who practice what I like to call extreme ownership. Leaders who do not place blame at all. When something goes wrong, it is never anyone else's fault. They take complete and full responsibility when things don't go right. But when it comes to things going well and it's time to applaud people, they share that with their entire team. I look up to people like that. And I work every day to be more of the person who can be that for the world. So those are the two categories of people who inspire me the most. And as long as I can see that you have achieved everything that you are achieving through a commitment to self-control and self-development, I worship you.
You are my inspiration. They're your inspiration. I
Yeah,
love
you are my
that.
inspiration. You are my inspiration. You know I went to school in Ibadan. Don't come and try to win. Oh. You're my inspiration.
You're
Can
my
you
inspiration.
guys? You're my inspiration. If you can fit those bills, you're my inspiration.
You're a Lagosian, right?
Yes, I'm a Lagos girl.
You're a Lagos babe. Holy
Lagos babe, as in I'm a go.
gang gang. Oh
Gang
my
gang.
good gang gang. I love it. DM fam, what inspires you? I want to read from you as well as we continue talking to Ms. Lola Molola. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, for speaking in the chats and talking amongst yourself. And Aya says she's a feminist too. Aya says, yay! I'm a feminist too. I was a feminist before I even really knew what that meant. Yeah, I'm so proud to say that. I am so proud to say that. I don't. I like to be a good girl that everybody can get along with until I say that, and at that point, it doesn't matter who doesn't get along with me anymore. I want to fight for women for as long as I live, and I want them to know that it is what they make it to be. All right, we're gonna move forward, and we're gonna talk about other things. Our topic is redefining purpose. Thank you for that very sound and deep definition and that story that brought you to your place of purpose. And one thing about purpose is that, in every season of your life, you have to constantly, like, even when you get it, you're lucky because you found yours very young. Some people are still in the quest to search for what they think their purpose is. And for some of those people, sometimes my conversation is, you probably already know it. You're just looking for something that's not there. But that's another conversation for another day. So you got lucky and you found it as a young child. As you grew up, did you have to redefine, tailor, modify? And as I talk about this, I'm really looking for the ways that you've had to grow through what your definition of purpose was. How has the girl child Lola, how has she grown into the seasons of her life to continue to shape, redefine, and remodel what the purpose is?
I didn't realize that it was purpose, apparently, because I didn't know what purpose was. I just knew that I had something that is sometimes dangerous and sometimes exciting, and that is passion. And passion, as we already know, is a very strong and almost uncontrollable emotion that we feel. And so I knew I had that. I knew I had a lot of that. I felt just deeply passionate about issues that are relating to women. And so that was the one thing I knew. was that I happened to be the one who among my friends, people, somebody who wants to talk will come to and say, this is going on. No, I'm that friend that everybody, even those who are bickering and fighting against one another, I'm the one that everybody comes to speak to them. There are certain things like that around my life. There's sprinkles of inspiration that made it clear to me that even before I knew it, the people around me felt comfort in being, in engaging with me. And they felt like I had the goods and the vibe to make them feel like, what is important to them was also important to me. So I think if you had asked me when I was 20 years old, I would have just told you that I just have a passion for everything related to women. It mattered to me. But as time was gone on, and I think it's even still an ongoing, and it's an ongoing evolution. As time has gone on, I've realized that actually this isn't just a passion. The fact that I have a passion for engaging with my sisters around the world, anywhere they are, whether it is my neighborhood friend, whether it is my cousin, whether it is my aunt, even elderly aunties, people were trusting me with information that they often don't trust other people with. And it goes beyond that. I started realizing that, oh my God, wait, oh, it's like this is a big picture map something, or like my sister would say, it's like this is a mapping something. I realized that actually, no, there are other things that I'm doing in my life that seem to be, reminding me constantly that it keeps taking me back to women, always, no matter what. If I was supposed to write an essay about something, when I was in journalism school in Lagos, Nigeria, they made me the woman editor. Like, I mean, it's just everything. I'm always being called on to preside on women's things. And suddenly, but I never, even then, I never knew what I was supposed to do with that. It was just sprinkles of inspirations and sprinkles of happenings, disconnected events that I didn't really create any big picture. I mean, who does? Who's able to create a big picture out of like sprinkles of regular events? And then something happened. I was sitting in this room actually with my husband in 2014 when, news flashed on the screen that close to 300 girls in Nigeria had been kidnapped by armed men who went to their school, which is the Chibok girls. You may have heard of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. It was that time that I started to connect it with my purpose. Because that day, something so major happened to me. I was like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was mentoring women, I was mentoring girls, I was doing all of that, but I didn't really bring it together to form a big picture until that day. I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I have to do something. I don't know what it's going to be. It led me to start a community on Facebook. And everything I have done from that day on is in service of that purpose or of that passion that is now clear is a purpose. And I then realized that every skill I've ever learned in my life, every road I've ever walked in my life, every person I've ever listened to, every person I've ever talked to, everybody I've ever engaged with, the one chain that runs through all of it is that I care about women. I see women. I see women. I see beyond whatever facade we put forward. I see us and I hear women, and it's not something I do. It's not difficult. It's the easiest thing for me to do. And I think that's how the evolution happened. And I think it has taken me to a place where I can now firmly say with some measure of certainty that this is what I want to do until I die.
Excellent. I like that. This is what I want to do until I die. A lot of us have not gotten to that point where we can say this is what I want to do until I die. I wonder though, that made me just think about it. Do you think everyone is going to get to that point where they identify that one thing they want to do until they die? Do you think
No.
that? Yeah, we're not all going to get it. So I'm still okay.
It's
Is
the
what you're
same
saying.
thing as, I think we should think about it the same way as we think about falling in love. Not everyone is going to feel that. We have to remember, we have to be aware of the privileges we enjoy in this world. I think that it is a privilege to be able to find, to know, to have a certainty around what you were born to do.
To do.
And and that's why I don't think everybody's going to experience it. Number two, I think very easily some people have found their purpose, but they just don't realize that it's their purpose. Because just like me, it was like a mix of me stumbling on things and also me being inspired by things. And then people actually teaching me and showing me things that I didn't realize. All of these things were not things that, oh, look at that. That is it. It's my purpose. No, 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 not at all. It was people bringing my attention to different things. It was my father bringing my attention to how loving I am, and how patient I am with women. It is my husband bringing my attention to, no, Lola, seriously. It seems like every woman you meet, you fall a little in love with them. It's like you can talk to her for 500 years and I just disappear. You just don't want to hang out with me. You want to hang out with your sisters. So it's little things that have happened. Most of them, what other people around me brought my attention to, that helped me get to where I am. So I feel bad. I mean, what happens to a woman or a man? What happens to someone who don't have the benefit of, constant mentorship around what their interests are, what their passions are, what their skills are, and how to suture all those things together and create a picture of what their life is and who they were born to be. See? So I really don't think, and I think to an extent also, some people's purpose is to help other people reach their purpose. I don't think that it's a cut and dry specific thing. I think some people's biggest strengths are helping to facilitate and mobilize and excite and inspire and motivate. And those people, they are the best at it. Like nobody else comes close. That is a purpose. But if they do not place value on that value, who's to say? How would they know that that was what they were born to do? Because that's the skill. That is the divine power that they have received when they were coming to the world. So I think there's no hard and fast rule around, what your purpose is. I think it really comes down to, a lot of privileges, who's talking to you, who you're talking to. And, at your quiet times, your own acknowledgement of who you really are when nobody else is looking.
Yes. Speak to your own acknowledgement of who you really are when nobody else is looking. You and I talk about honesty to self a lot. And I think that honesty to self allows us to kind of just weave through a lot of life complications, even with the little things and the big things. People will ask you, is that okay with you? And in your mind, it's not okay. But because you just say, it's okay. When it's not okay, it's not okay. There's nobody else is ever going to tell you the truth. So you tell yourself the truth. It's not okay. It's not okay, but it's all right. I'm gonna make it anyway. And leave your key. Don't you ever come.
I don't know the rest.
To
Let me
me.
just stop talking.
All right, maybe they might not. They might sue us. They won't even know the song we are singing. So there's no way they are going to sue us for that
You see
song.
me using Fuji garbage to dance with.
I tell
You see
you.
me using Fuji garbage to dance
I
with.
know you were Roka. It's so good. Thank you, Daily Motion fam. Thank you so much for that powerful insight. I heard something that was very loud amongst all the great things you said, and it was about mentorship and coaching around what your purpose is, even as you grow and define it and redefine it and grow in it. I want to quickly touch on this topic of drowning in your own purpose, drowning in the purpose that is your calling and whatever it is. No matter how superhuman you are, sometimes your life calling is a breeze. I'm not sure who that person is. It's not me. I think for most of us, it gets to a part where we feel stuck in our purpose. And when we feel like we're drowning in our purpose, I believe that there are opportunities. That's your greatest opportunity for growth, to re-examine and to look and to check and to see if am I stuck somewhere where I'm not supposed to be, and to get help. Can you, in about 2 minutes, just tell us, if there's somebody listening and watching or hearing this, whether we're live or not live, what is that one thing that they can do at that point in their life when they think they're drowning in their purpose?
To be honest, I don't completely understand the concept of drowning in your purpose. But what I do, from my understanding of it, please tell me if I don't have it correctly. I think what the way I am translating it in my own mind is that sometimes, because, like I said before, passion is so strong and it's uncontrollable, and that forms the basis of your purpose, or probably in your own case, it led you to your purpose, being aware of what you're passionate about. But if drowning is you overdoing it, is it about overdoing it, or is it about living constantly in fear that you are not reaching your purpose? Which is it?
I think what I'm trying to get at is that as you grow, the purpose either grows with you, and if you are not growing with the purpose, you get stuck in the initial stage of your purpose, and you want to keep doing things the way you were doing them. How it started, it was very simple. Let's take you for example. It was very simple. I just love women. I just want to talk to them. I just want to listen to them. I just want them to feel heard and know that somebody cares and stuff like that. The purpose sometimes will grow larger than you, and then you have to get a support system around yourself. And I think that's what I'm getting at is, and if you don't do that at that point, then you will drown in what you have placed your purpose in, as opposed to what it has grown to be. So does that help a little bit?
Yeah, I get that. I think there's a little mistake that we often make. Who is deciding how we're supposed to exhaust or explore our purpose, though? Like, who? The only person that's putting fire behind us is us. So essentially, you can take your purpose, your understanding of your purpose, as far as you want it, or as not far, or just keep it to the level that you feel comfortable expressing it. The truth of the matter is, that's what having other people around is for. That is, I think, the value of forming alliances. In fact, I like to call this, I think these are the things that have made the most difference for me personally, is that I understand that I can be everything and I can do everything. I do now. I did not before. I started with you. Okay, let's start. I ran myself ragged, man, because that's the way we were raised to do that. That as a woman, that is your role, is to be the one running yourself ragged. But then, and I told you about this, but then I now understand and I see the value and have been practicing finding balance. So important, especially for women. Finding balance is important because there's so many responsibilities that society expects us to meet. And then forming alliances, having a support group of people that that you value and you can trust. And beyond that, understanding that you cannot do everything. It's impossible. And finding people who can do the things that you can't do. That is a vulnerable process, because you have to acknowledge your own strengths and your own weaknesses. But as soon as you can get past, hey, I don't know how to do this, so what if they look at me and say, this girl does not know what she's doing? If you can get past that and respect and appreciate that other people have strengths that you may not have, and that they have the ability to fill in the gaps that you may not be able to fill, it actually gives you comfort, it gives you peace, and it also provides space for you to help advance other people. So that is also a great thing. And the last one, I think, is building boundaries for yourself and other people. Unfortunately, when we're running ourselves ragged, we don't always think about self-care. And this is even worse for women. And that is important. If we do not remember to take a moment and care for ourselves, we cannot possibly be the best people to care for other people. So we are best positioned when we are giving to ourselves something that we deeply want to give to others. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
That is exactly the answer to the question. In fact, I should clap for you. Pow, 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 pow. I think no matter, and I think it comes from all of that. You're a girl and you're a mother. I mean, you're now a mother. You're somebody's sister. And it's so funny that as a girl child, you are sitting with you. Maybe you're 8, and you have a brother who's 6 years old, and they would say things like these to you, sitting down there at 8 years old. Don't you see your brother? Can't you help him? And in your head, as that 8-year-old girl child, nothing else exists outside your 8 years of experience, but expectations are already being set for you that you almost have to handle everything. You got to be the one washing the plates. And if there's a fire, you should know where the water is, even if you can't put it out. There's so much that we get asked to do. And it has to come to a point in your purpose and your life calling. And the way that I understand your purpose and your life calling, it's everything that surrounds you, it's every role you play. If you are a mother at that time, and somehow you're managing to just be a mother, there's nothing else you're committed to, say you don't work, say you're not married, whatever the case may be, your purpose at that time lies in mothering those human beings that you have. And at that point, you have to realize what your limitations are. When that child grows to become a teenager and you have no clue what's going on with their hormones, is to understand that I can't handle this. I need help. I need a support group. I need a friend. I need somebody who's gone through this before, who can maybe lead me through this. I need something. Understanding what you have and knowing what you need at every point, whatever you're called to do and whatever your purpose is. Very important. And Lola just so succinctly put that for us. Look for your people. I will quickly share this because it's very important to me, and then we'll talk about one more thing, and then we'll close out. We'll be out of here at 8:10 by God's grace. I spoke to somebody, one of my friends, one of my sisters, my daughters. I don't even know how old I am. But she just had my granddaughter, so she must be a daughter, but she's also a sister because I'm forever young, so I'm not that old, so and I said to her in my conversation, I said, I think I was depressed, and the first words out of her mouth was, "You?" And if you're listening, I want to thank you, because you so called me out that I needed to check myself. So what I thought about when she said "you" was, as authentically as I think I live, I hope I'm not living a life where people think I don't get depressed. Even though I'm a mess, half the time you're talking to me, I'm always doing something crazy. But I valued that I'm able to show up when I need to show up, and even through the depression, we say we're all functional depressed people, FDP, Mado. Anyway, but the thing is, I also don't want to appear as somebody who does not get depressed. And so that made me do a lot of thinking. You are called to a lot of people individually and as a group. And that the role of a caregiver, be it physical or emotional, one of the most tasking things that a human being, the tasking roles that a human being can be in. How do you keep yourself healthy? Mind, body, how do you do that?
I'm terrible at it. I cannot trust myself to be the best gauge of self-care for myself. That is me getting to a place where I can now admit that it's a lot.
That's growth.
That is growth.
That's growth for my friend. Yes, yes.
I'm going to just tell you that right now, like dead on, that I now acknowledge, I now know that in the face of my passions, in the face of my purpose, I become a real life energizer bunny, because I am so fueled by what I do, by the people I serve, by the heart of what I think is possible, by the benefits of, seeing something that I am a part of, something that I participated in, something that I created, that I'm working and I'm every day, I'm seeing the benefits. I'm seeing things come to life. I'm seeing people's lives change. I'm seeing my life change. I'm not going to lie. It's hard for me to just look away, even sleep. It used to be so difficult because it was too interesting. It was too fun. The challenge was too exhilarating. But you know what? This body, it tells you right quick what it needs you to do, regardless of what kind of lie your mind is telling you. Okay. And I learned that right quick. So the biggest thing that I do for myself is that I now live in that awareness that I need other people to remind me that me being healthy is something that I need. So I gave those people the power to tell me when to shut it down, when to chill out, when to shut up. And that has been, I think, the best thing I've been doing for myself. It's the psychological safety for the people around me to support me and to protect me.
Love it. I love that.
And I think that would be the biggest thing, by far, the biggest thing, 100 by far. Just
Thank
shutting
you.
up and listening. That's it.
Thank you. You've said a lot of very good things. I want to echo to every woman, knowing that you don't got it all. You don't got it all. You got it all too. Don't get me wrong, but you don't got it all. You can't do it all by yourself. And to understand that sometimes you cannot even trust your own self to protect you. So,
And do you
go
mind
ahead.
me jumping in to say,
I do not mind.
because it's in line with what you're saying, you would, addressing women specifically to know that we don't have all the answers. Here's the thing. And I know that one of the biggest thing women tend to say to me is that, oh, I will just not trust anybody. I just learned that I will never trust anybody anymore. I will just trust myself. That is a fool's paradise. Human beings cannot be independent. We can't. We are what I like to call interdependent. We need other people. We need other people to survive. We need other people to be happy. We need other people to even just be, to feel whole. That connectedness is what makes us feel real. We understand who we are, what we bring in relation to other people. And that is how we feel. That's how we think. That's who we are. And so I think that when we're talking about self-care and what, just to in line with what you're saying, is for women, sisters, just remember, you need people. You always need people. And so being able to just recognize who is good for you and create zero space for who is not is what I think we should do more often.
Very, very good. Thank you so much. That's what it is. The word trust. The word trust. Very, very picked out and chosen. The people that you can trust. You cannot live in this world and say that there is nobody else that you can talk to possible. Because then that means you yourself are not trustworthy. So please find somebody. No, and I pick the word trust because it is what we all struggle with, because as human beings throughout our lifetime we've had experiences that has caused us to either not trust that somebody will catch you when you fall. And I want to say something to that. Appreciate seasons. There are seasons in life, and if you wear a sweater in the summer, we're probably going to think you're from Britain or something like that, but we're going to think you're a little weird. There are certain people that have been chosen to serve a certain season of your life. And I always say this: respect the time they serve. And when their season is gone, let them go. No hard feelings. Go. See, they've done their job. You've done your job in their lives. And that is not reason to never trust another person again. Look at the time that they've served you well. Cherish those memories. And let it go, let it go. Okay, I'm gonna stop because we gotta get out of here. Thank you so much. We got to get out of here. But the last thing, and in the same light, is you are a lot of people's people. You got a lot of people's back. Who's got your back? And that's a question I'm asking not to just Lola, to every person that's listening, male, female, child, adult. You've got a lot of people's backs. Who's got your back? Go ahead, Lola.
I mean, the seen and the unseen. The unseen, I know that there's a lot of times that things happen that I did not expect to happen all the time. You can come up with the best laid plans, and if you're a believer and you believe that in God, there's the truth of the matter is, those things that you can't control. God's got it. And then when we talk about people, I think who gets my back there are, I hope it's everybody whose lives mine has touched meaningfully. I'm a natural connector, so I depend very heavily on people all the time. I can't do anything on my own, to be very honest. And some of the most significant things I've been able to do in my life are because somebody gave me an option, or somebody gave me a chance, or somebody gave me a second chance. And so I think seen and unseen, it would have to be, God's got my back and people has got my
People's
back.
got your back. Thanks, Daily Motion family. You don't have to go home, but we have to get out of here. So I have enjoyed thoroughly my conversation with you, Lola. Thank you. Thank you for
Thanks for
what you
having me.
give to the world. Thank you for what you do for your family. And your family is huge, beyond the people who live within your walls. Thank you for showing up for women all over the world. Thank you for a sound friendship. Thank you for listening ears. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your love. The Daily Motion family is thanking you tremendously. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, Mo Lola. Thank you, Lola, Mo Lola. Thank you to the most amazing Finsta that ever lived. Can we just give it up for her?
Thank you.
It has been such a wonderful time here tonight. I have a commitment, and I think it's a God commitment, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. But, there are some songs that are really old, and every news day, there's like 5 different songs that we want to sing because this one is new, this one is on the radio, this one is playing. But I have a commitment to these songs that are very simply written, and they mean very deep things, but not too many words. Ironically, I'm going to be singing a song in church tomorrow, and it's called it's called a thousand names, as to how God has 1,000 names. But the song itself has a lot of words, so it's almost like the song has 1,000 words, So, but it is like there were some simple songs that we used to sing, and they were just so simple, and I have a commitment to them. So I know sometimes we open in worship here. I'm going to bring them back. Most of them are in my dialect, but I'm going to share this one that is in my dialect. I may be able to tell you what it means, and I should have done better and put the English words on here, but it really just means, as we have talked the length and breadth of all of these things that we have said, what our plans are, what our realizations are, what our strategies are, what we do with people. And so right that Adipero, hi sis, how are you? So right that she said, have we talked about God in all of this, and what does it bring into the conversation? This conversation is based on God. This is what God is going to do is without us saying. He does, and he's already doing. Sometimes as people of faith, we give God our job. So we've talked a lot about what we can do, because what God will do will not change. No matter how many times we fall, no matter how many things we fail to do, no matter how many times we get it wrong, it's basic, it's standard, it's the baseline and the foundation. of all that we have added to it. But as people of faith, God will not do our part. So this is a call to me, Olayemi, that I will do my part in addition to what God is doing. This song says, we praise you, our God, and we declare your lordship over our lives. And it's so simple. And the words in Yoruba say, Àwa yìn Ọlọ́run wa, àwa ń jẹ́wọ́ rẹ̀ pé ìwọ l'Olúwa. And that song has been ringing in my heart all weekend long. I mean, for about 2 weeks, I think. And it just says overall, above all plans, above all successes, above all failures, it's the God that is the foundation of our existence. Daily Motion fam, we shall see you in 2 weeks by the grace of God. And I want you to go out and love people. Have a wonderful night. And may the Lord bless you. Can we please give it up one more time for Lola Omolola? Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time.